We asked the parents 10 questions in the survey, and the feedback that we got back was that parents wanted to be involved in their children's learning. More than 80% of the adults wanted to be involved, but they didn't know how to be involved in the education of their children, and they wanted something that they felt they could cope with, that wasn't out with the knowledge that they had, and they wanted to be supported with programmes of learning, or they wanted some information to help guide them. Our focus group is a team of 9 staff within the school across all the departments. So each member brings a different strength to the group, and we wanted to utilise everybody's strengths to target all the curricular areas, so that when people came to the games night, they were getting a wide experience of the curriculum, so that parents would understand the level 3 and how to go about helping their children at level 3 in the curriculum for excellence. Each member of the team took their own subject initially, and they made a handout, an inset for a handout that the parents would take away with them, which informed them of the skills that each game taught them when they played it, and it gave them an idea of how they could do home learning, an activity they could do without having the games at hand at home. Then each member went to a different department, and they carried out the same exercise with other departments, and then this was collated as a whole handout, which was given out on the night to the parents. There was a table setting on each table for each subject, so that the parents could read it as they were playing, and it was put on the school website for parents who weren't at games night to access. As parents came into the building, they were welcomed at the front door and they were given a map, and each curricular area had a table in the middle of the room. There were 16 tables in total. Down the side of the room had the minute to win it games, so people were coming in, they were led down the side into the active games to ease their stress. Parents obviously are out of their comfort zone, they don't know what to expect when they come to games night. They moved up, they got their family photo, so by the time they got to the curricular areas, they were ready to sit down and engage with the learning aspect of games night. And then midway through, we served hot food, which was prepared by the Home Economics Department. The families came together at that point as a community and had a little bit of social interaction with one another. We approached the business. We thought it was important that families are obviously aware about developing the young workforce, so that seemed like a good partner for us. And they have donated money incentives, which we then used to buy prizes for games night, which we gave out in the form of vouchers and games for the families to take away. So it brought those partners on board that we were using them as our community link. Through games night, we wanted to remove all the barriers. We had a creche for the young children. We had the food. We didn't want anybody to feel they couldn't come because they couldn't afford it, so everything was free, and we thought by giving them a prize that they could then use, it would make their home life easier, or give them a special treat, that it was open and equitable. With the set-up, there was plenty of space between each of the tables, and all the games were arranged with a leader, and the leaders explained to the families how to work the games. They were set up, so there wasn't a lot of time wasted in understanding the games. That was all given to them on hand very quickly. So as families finished, they just naturally swapped and moved on to the next station, because none of the games took a long time to complete. Every staff member from the team was allocated their curricular area relating to the ones that they had been assigned with in making the handout. So the team leader looked after the pupil leader, and they fed that information back to the families, because we wanted to remove the stigma that teachers are unapproachable. We wanted the families to understand that teachers are humans and that we're here for the good of their children. We want to be involved in the learning, and we want parents to be involved in the learning, so that if we're both working together in partnership, the child will benefit and have greater outcomes. Families felt as though they could speak to us more easily. They felt that we were less formal in the way that we were dressed, so that made us more approachable to families. On the evening, the young people set up the hall. They made the food, they welcomed the parents in, they took their pictures, they told the staff who the winners were of the games, so that was announced. And some of the pupils spoke on the mic to the parents, and they took part in the live chase game as well against the parents, so that the pupils were very hands-on with games night in all aspects, and they were all given leadership opportunities. When the pupils heard about games night, they all wanted a little piece of the games night action. They all wanted to get in and do their little bit, making the food and helping with the setup. And the most amazing thing was the clean-up. So usually after we have a school event, it takes a long time with the size of our school to put everything away. And the team was so in sync with one another. The clean-up from games night was done in literally 10 minutes, everybody was all hands on deck, all supporting and all feeling proud of what our community had achieved. When they arrived at the table, the pupils were there with the game set up, and beside the game we left the instructions out on the table. So they came in and initially they could pick them up themselves, and if they didn't understand them, the team helped them and they showed them. From the evaluations, I think people just loved everything about games night. There wasn't a bit they liked better or they liked least. Everybody was truly mesmerised by how we had set up the hall, how everybody had been involved, how all the different communities had come together, the dads, older folk, the young, everybody just loved it. We made personalised invitations which were sent home by post, and they looked quite special. They had a Holyrood sticker on the envelope, they were all printed in colour. And then we made an e-invite which went on the school website. It was text to parents and it showed them what to do with the invitation when they got it back, and that removed any barriers of language. Everybody could watch the video and understand what they had to do. And then when we got them back in, we sent posters around the school, big A3 posters for the pupils, so that it was taking a spin on it that was appropriate to them, and we used the Instagram logos and we made it quite fun for the pupils. When the families sat down to eat their hot food, we found this was the best time for them to fill in their evaluation, and the leaders went round and gave everybody the pens, the pencils, and help if they didn't understand it. And we quite often do 2 types of evaluation in the parental engagement team. So we've got a questionnaire that you would write in, and we have one for the younger children which has a picture that they would write on the picture what they were feeling, so everybody had the opportunity to fill in a questionnaire. The next step is to have it again and make it bigger, better and even more successful. We would like this to be an annual thing on our school calendar now because it was so successful, and maybe share with other schools how to go about planning it. Now that we've done it and we have the materials and the resources, let other schools have that same experience tailored to their needs. Parental engagement's very difficult. It's not going to happen overnight. So make a plan, stick to your plan and do it in small steps, and have a team of people around you, because it's going to make it easier if everybody else is on board. It's not a job one person can do on their own, it takes a whole team. The team wanted to introduce themselves to parents so that they felt familiar with us, so we used the podcasting approach. We made a video and we had a picture of each member of the team with their name. Each member spoke a little bit about what we wanted to achieve by creating the team, and we wanted parents to know that we were there to support them in our role, that we wanted to make a difference in the day-to-day running of our school, to take on the views and the ideas and the opinions of our parents. And we put that out on the school Twitter, the school website, and at the start of parent information evenings.